Alright, we're recording.
What's up? So my fiance and I just got out of Birds of Prey, and hot damn, that was amazing, and I loved every second of it. And like, I mean, okay, non-spoilery thingies, really awesome set pieces, really great fight scenes. All the characters were pretty much who they were supposed to be, and it didn't feel like they were completely out of character as some other DC movies. I really liked like the way that things coalesced and whatnot. The movie passes the Bechdel test in spades, which is kind of great, which is a lot better than like Wonder Woman, because like the first act of Wonder Woman, they all pass the Bechdel test because there's no dudes, and then as soon as the dudes show up, there's like one scene where they pass the Bechdel test, and that's it. After that, they're fucked. So, you know, but yeah, this scene spectacularly passes the Bechdel test and doesn't spectacularly fail it, which is great. I could see like a lot of the complaints about like the movie in terms of like Harley overshadowing people. I could see where that's coming from. I didn't get that. I talked to Seraph afterwards, and she said she didn't get that either. So, like, I think it's a matter of perspective. I think that we're so used to, like, Deadpool being a thing that, you know, Deadpool kind of overshadows his own movies because he can break the fourth wall. And, like, when you have an unreliable narrator like that, like, sometimes it could be a little bit disjointed and or jarring. But the pacing made it kind of fine for me, so like I'm not upset about it at all. Okay, this point forward, I'm going to discuss a little bit of spoilery stuff. I'm not going to go into too many spoilers, so like if you know the basic plot of the movie, it's not really going to be like that spoilery. But yeah, if you want to see the movie before watching the rest of this video, maybe you should leave now. Okay. All right. So for those of you who stuck around, I really, really liked how Harley was an unreliable narrator to the point where she had to keep going back and forth. And, like, the timeline looked messed up, but, like, when you watch it in the like, when I was watching it in the theater, like, yeah, it looked really messed up, but the fact that she's narrating it made it better. And I think because she was narrating it and she's an unreliable narrator, it kind of added to the overall, emancipation of Harley Quinn, you know. Canary was amazeballs. Huntress is like my fucking spirit animal. I don't even know how that happened, but she's super great, super awkward, and like me in real life, apparently. So Mary Elizabeth, hit me up on social media. I'm at superhero_Jess. Like, let's talk about that. Anyway, I really liked Cassandra Cain. I adored Harley. I thought Ian McGregor as Black Mask was spot on for the most part. I really liked that he lulled people into a false sense of security and then let loose a little bit, which for me, it's classic Black Mask, and I really enjoy Black Mask as a villain, so like this was kind of like on par with what I wanted. Pacing was awesome. Fight scenes were great. I really liked some of the nods to it being, about women instead of just about them fighting a guy. Like, Harley passing her hair tie to Canary in the trailer happened. I also liked, at one point, somebody asked, when did she have time to change shoes? Which was great. The only thing that I think... Oh, and in case you're wondering, yes, stay till the end. There's no mid-credits scene, but there is an after-credits thing that you should stick around for. It's kind of great. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's really good.
It's really good.
The only thing that I would have been fine, which I think would have made this movie better, is if they teased Poison Ivy in some way. It didn't really feel like they teased it, and I know, like, it's supposed to be the emancipation of Harley Quinn, blah, 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 but, like, Harley has always been her best when she's with Ivy. Always. She's never not been at her best when Ivy's there to, like, help her out. And Ivy is part of the Birds of Prey mythos, so it would make sense for her, if they did a sequel, to have Ivy joined them or whatever they want to do with that, because that would be really great. The only other thing I want to talk about is I really liked that this movie was... Okay, I'm gonna fucking say it. This movie was better than Wonder Woman. Eat it, nerds. Cause...
You're that nerd.
No, I'm not, because I think Shazam is better than Wonder Woman in a lot of ways. But I'm happy that, because I didn't like Captain Marvel as much as I should. But here's the difference. So the one thing that a lot of people will probably mention in the comments is like, hey, what about all the songs like you pointed out in your DCEU video? Okay, but here's the difference. In Suicide Squad, it feels disjointed. Here it worked and it made sense, and like it, like the songs dictated the tonal shifts. Whereas in Suicide Squad, it was so disjointed that it did not feel that way. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with that, is the music is a thing, but it's not as disjointed. It's part of the reason I didn't like Captain Marvel, because a lot of the music in Captain Marvel, except for Come As You Are by Nirvana, was disjointed, for me anyway. Everything, like, if you removed about 90% of the 90s music from that and just did like, you know, had like, I don't know, Hans Zimmer do the score for, or whoever the fuck, Alan Silvestri or whatever the hell his name is, who did the Avengers score, do the score for Captain Marvel, like, that would have made sense. I mean, a lot of people say, well, Black Panther had like a lot of like hip hop and like Afro music, and that's because that was set mostly in Africa and also has a theme of Afrofuturism, so that makes sense. Here, the song choices not only make sense, but they also enhance the plot and enhance the story. They're not just stuck there for the sake of being stuck there, like they were in Suicide Squad, which I really enjoy. And then I guess the only other thing that I would have to say in terms of this movie is, if you can contribute to like the box office to this, like, tell them that you want another Birds of Prey movie, because like Gail Simone watched this movie and was so happy with how it turned out, and I could see why. They took a lot of inspiration from her comics. So like, if you love Birds of Prey, especially Gail Simone's run, you will love this movie. And I want to say, for the filmmakers, I'm so happy that it was directed by a woman. I'm not sure if she's a woman of color, but if she is, more power to her, because she did a really good job. And I really want to mention the fact that, with the exception of Margot Robbie and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, the rest of the girls were people of color, which was awesome. Cassandra Cain was of Asian descent. Renee Montoya was Latina, and Black Canary was black, which was awesome. We need things like that. If that's going to be what our DCEU Birds of Prey is, I am completely fine with that. That is a really good lineup for Birds of Prey, and it gives representation, which I've been like putting into like everybody's head since 2017. And I really just want to reiterate, if you support my work and you like my stuff and you are not a racist asshole, go see this movie. That's all I'm asking, because the box office returns will tell Warner Brothers whether or not this movie is viable. So that's pretty much... Oh, one more thing? Oh, yeah, Canary is Seraph's new waifu, I guess, so I guess I'm out of a job.
Yes. No, wait. Wait.
No, I will say, as a final spoilery thing, I really liked how she... they're all at different skill levels, too, which I really liked. Cassandra Cain is a kid, which I'm fine with. So she's at a really younger skill level, kind of on the par with actually Black Canary, because it seemed like from the movie that she didn't want to use her canary cry, and when she did, it looked like she hasn't been used to it enough yet. Like, she just started out and she just discovered that's a thing she can do. Whereas obviously Harley and Renee and Huntress all seem to have a long history of doing what they normally do, so they don't seem to be very they seem to be like knowing where they are in their element.
Well, also Renee is like much older, so like
yeah,
she's not limited by skill, she's limited by like physical ability.
Yeah, and I really liked that she seemed to be in her early 40s, it looked like, for the most part, which I'm fine with. And I really liked the positive message that it sent, that, you know, especially in Harley's case, speaking as someone who has been through a lot of abuse, it is really, really helpful and really nice to have a story where you leave your abuser, you go through a bunch of bad shit, and then at the end of the road is just a really nice, friggin' beautiful message of women and empowerment. And that's honestly what I wanted. And I kind of hate that I had to wait until 2020 to get that. But, I mean, I guess happy 100 years of the amendment or whatever, because that's like literally how long it took. But whatever, it's fine. I'm not mad about it. Anyway, that's that. We are still working very hard on other projects. Just a quick heads up. We are expecting the Luke Cage script this week. We are also going to be filming a couple of things this week in addition to this, which is probably going to go out tonight. And then, we have a few surprises coming up in April, in light of the fact that the new James Bond movie, which usually comes out in November, is coming out in April in the UK. I'm going to be doing an episode on why James Bond is a superhero, and no, you cannot change my mind. Other than that, I guess we'll see you next episode when we talk about Luke Cage and why Black Lives Matter. And yeah, that's where we're at. What? Huh? Oh, yeah. If you like my shit or whatever, you should like Patreon or something. I'm really bad at this. I don't know how to promote my own shit. Okay, look, if you like me rambling, if you like thoughtful video essays on like Black Lives Matter and like why, you know, I just put a 2-parter out on the DCEU hot mess. I've done stuff on Watchmen. I've done stuff on Jessica Jones. So if you like what I do, please support me. I have a Patreon. I have a Ko-fi. I have a PayPal. You could also join the Discord. You can follow me on social media, and I would hold up my cat, but she's not here right now because we're in a car in a parking lot in the middle of Minnesota. So I'm going to end this by being super awkward like Helena and say bye.